Hi, guys.
Hey.
So we're here today because, and this is going to kind of be maybe a little rambling, but we're going to actually try to work through it a little bit and just kind of give you an idea of when something's bothering us, kind of the steps that we take individually to address that. So with that said,
Yeah, I'm in a funk. Normally my outlook is pretty sunny and positive. And then every now and again, I just wake up and it's just like this dark, stormy day. And probably most people wouldn't recognize it for what it is, because I'm good at putting on a happy face, but inside there's just a bit of sadness. And so yesterday, I woke up with it and just kind of wanted to throw in the towel. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? I'm tired. I'm tired of the responsibility of what my life is like right now. And yeah, I want to go on vacation for a long time. And okay, that's not realistic. It can't really happen. And so what do I do to try and get back on track? So how did you respond to me yesterday?
when I saw you were how you were, I think I walked up and gave you a hug, and I hugged you for an extended length of time. It's kind of just, I needed you to go through whatever you needed to go through, but also understood that it was important for me to be there and let you know I was there.
Right.
It was important for me to take that step back and realize that if you needed my fixing, it was available, but it wasn't offered because you didn't ask.
Right.
And that's huge.
Yeah, it is big. It is big. And I think that the other thing is that you asked me first, can I hug you? Can I give you this support and this love? And so yeah, that
that's
was
big. I'm proud of myself.
It was because sometimes you just want to sit with things on your own, or you just don't want that sharing of the energy. So it was good. And as you held me, I probably cried a little bit, I think, or and I also came to the realization that, you know, as much as I would love that knight in shining armor to come, or that merry fairy princess to wave the wand, like, nobody else can fix me. Nobody else can take this feelings that I'm feeling inside and make them go away except for me. However, I can lean on people for the support, for their encouragement, for their holding space for me, like you did while you just held me and didn't say anything. And that's big. Leaning into the feelings rather than trying to brush them away and brush them under the carpet like we are so good at doing, and not being swallowed up by them. Those are also two really important things. Now you can feel into them and let them swallow you up, cry it out, anger it out, as long as it's not directed on somebody else. All of that is part of processing through what you're feeling. Journaling about it is another thing. And sometimes as I sit there to try and journal, I just find myself daydreaming about all of the different thoughts. I'm just a boomerang, right? I'm not actually journaling anymore, but that helps too. And sometimes I just write down a key thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Two things you said there. First, you said you wanted a knight in shining armor. kind of felt like that for a moment. Then you said a fairy, and then with the wand, I was trying to delineate which one I might be, but I think it was kind of
Either
metaphorical
one. Yes.
for you. Anyhow, the other thing you said was this big, and I think that as we grow as individuals, what we find is, and Lindalee shared this to me, and I wrote it down, and I want to share it with you. And she actually just reiterated. She said, you can rely on people to help you, but you cannot rely on people to fix you. And that's when she mentioned earlier that that's big, that's an unbelievable amount of emotional intelligence and self-growth. It's the roller coasters that we ride up and down, sometime, some days, some weeks, who knows how long they last. The acknowledgement that we go through those things.
Mhm.
Life is cyclical. There's ups and there's downs, and it's just being where you are at that time. And like you said, you were talking about the journaling, and sometimes you kind of go off. Well, meditation's the same way. Sometimes you sit down to meditate and your mind can't get free, but the mere act of your intention to step into that space, the intention to journal, means you're taking ownership of your life at that point.
Right.
You're acknowledging that, hey, man, this just sucks right now. I feel like crap. I want to crawl in the bed. I want to hide. And all these feelings that you had, I've had the same feelings. When you're starting something new, kind of like what we're doing, and you're pushing it out there, that just seems like you're drinking from a fire hose, that you can't get a drink. There's just so much coming against you. You just can't get ahead. But you know what? You just sit in that because you know it's right.
Yeah. And
I think that's the point for us. So the incident is this feeling that we encounter from time to time. The point is, it's just going to happen. Life happens.
Well, right. And the point is too, it happens, but how do you deal with it? How do you navigate it? Don't brush it under the carpet and shove it away. Don't ignore it. Don't let it swallow you up for too long. Experience it, go through it, and rely on other people to support you. Let them hear you out. Let them hold you. Let them just hold space. And when I say that, it's just, I don't know if everybody knows what hold space is, but
being present with each other.
Being present with each other, or asking someone else that's not even there with you to be present with you through their heart space, like just sending you love, prayers, energy for because energy is a big one, and it's very similar to prayer. So that's the point, that we can rely on our support people, but we have to do it ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we're stepping in this space, I guess for the general public, when you talk about being with someone and being present, it's just basically for them to understand that it's kind of like being there and saying a prayer for someone as you're there.
Right.
That's the most easiest way. And then from there, you can obviously extrapolate out to the different other forms of being present with each other.
Right. And again, and yes, and very much so, like you were with me yesterday. You held me, you were with me in the emotions. You didn't take them on yourself. You just held that, and you didn't try to fix it. You just held me. And if I wanted to talk about it, you let me. You didn't, again, offer, well, this is what you should do. You just asked, what can I do? What can I do? What do you need from me? What can I do?
And it's something so flipping simple, isn't that?
Yeah.
So simple is just,
but it's hard to do because what you want to go into fix it mode. You want to, oh my gosh, let me take care of this. I mean, like, that's just what we do when we see somebody hurting. We want to triage.
yeah.
And maybe perform surgery. But yeah, the thing is
Let me make this about me.
Yeah.
I can fix you.
Well, and it might even be with the best of intentions,
Yeah.
like, you're hurting, I want to help you.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely can help people, but you can't fix them. You can't fix it for them per se. And you can also make it worse by saying you should. That can just be like a knife in the twisting the knife.
Well, I mean, when people approach that, they don't realize, I see it almost as a degrading type of action, when in fact it's trying to be helpful.
Right.
It doesn't allow that person to experience their individual experience.
Right. And it's not that you shouldn't converse about it either, because having the conversations, you can lead them into solution. Or maybe they just want to sit with it and know that, like, I will be okay. I just need to go through this. And then on the other side of it, it's going to be okay. Or, yeah, I reserve the right to come back and ask you for support in another way later, as you process through it. But you can absolutely have the conversations. What do you think is behind this?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot going on. Is there anything I can take off of your plate? Just simple questions. What would blah, blah, blah. What would be another way? Like, what is it that you need to hear when you're in that space?
I think when I'm in that space, I just need that space to actually process. And you're very good about giving me that space to process. But you're also good about not letting me prolong that sense of downness, or there's an intrinsic time period for each of us. And you seem to know my time period when it's like, okay, let's snap out of it now. Yours, I think I'm understanding after years. You're quick, but sometimes you do need more time. Yesterday, you needed a little more time.
Yeah.
So I think the big takeaways from this, to kind of wrap up, is that we have these days, we have these times, these moments when
life sucks.
Life sucks. When the burden you're carrying it just feels unbearable. But there's moments that, I guess what I'm saying is, this will pass, but how do we use it to pass? You mentioned journaling, you mentioned prayer, or just being with someone in energy, just being there for another person.
Yeah. And I mean, on your own too, like, we know that exercise is a great transformational tool because it brings up all these different chemicals in your body, and it's a release. So you've got that as a great trigger. I mean, I know that when my dad was passing, and I could go into the gym just crying with sadness, and maybe even cry a little bit during my workout in the very beginning, and then leave with just the weight off and a smile on my face and my heart feeling a lot more capable of handling what was coming. So yeah, there's that too. There's actually another little hack is just putting a smile on your face. If you can put that smile on your face for 30 seconds, even though you're not feeling it, your brain gets tricked. And pretty soon you're like, okay, this is going to be okay too. So, I mean, some of that, and even just, shaking it off. Like, you'll see animals do it, you see athletes do it. It's that energy, and you just kind of like release. There's breath work. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do But this is, yeah.
How do you prompt yourself? You know that there's all these things to do. How do you prompt yourself to get there?
I think I kind of know, like, I know myself enough, like what's going to be best. Do I need to be a little gentle and just do some breath work? Would the writing of it help? I think you just kind of know, like, this is really big. I need to like do a sprint up and down the road 5 times or do some weightlifting because that's going to be more powerful for me right now. I mean, I think you just have to know yourself, and you get to know yourself by experimenting,
Exactly.
trying some different things out.
So to recap the recap, recapping the recap here, we have some journaling, we have some meditation, we have some exercise, we have breath work, all these areas. Give it a try, see what resonates with you. One may resonate at a given time when it may not resonate at another time, but that's why you have a toolkit. It's important to build this toolkit.
Yeah.
And then there's always the opportunity to just crawl into bed and stay there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just let it, be gentle with yourself, be kind. And but remember, you do need to get back up. And we are not mental health specialists. We're not, I mean, like, that's not our thing. So I mean, definitely we're not trying to minimize depression. That's a whole another ball game, but
this is just about down days.
Yeah. So hopefully you gain some insights and some value out of this. And thank you. Let us know if we can go into any more detail about any of it for you by reaching out to us or just through your comments, and we will respond.
Shoot us an email if you'd like. You'll find an email address for us in the description.
Okay.
So yeah.
Bye.